This is Bob Ferguson with the Sustainable Living Coalition, and with me today I have Tera Johnson from Food Finance Institute, and we're going to talk about the boot camp that's coming up in Fairfield for food entrepreneurs. So, Tera, what is a boot camp, and why should someone be interested in it?
Yeah, so boot camp is an opportunity for food entrepreneurs to disengage from their day-to-day crazy work lives and spend some focused time learning about how to make money in their food business and then working one-on-one with me to help fix things. So it is an opportunity to both learn and actually get things fixed, which is why it's not just a training, it's boot camp.
That's great. And so, what is your background that gives you particular expertise to offer this kind of service?
Sure. So, let's see, way back when I started something called Tera's Whey. So Tera's Whey is a brand of whey protein that is available nationally now all over the country. And I had the incredible opportunity to have an idea in my head like that and then make it a reality and grow it all the way to the point where we sold the company to a public company. So I got to participate in the complete arc of having an idea, starting a business, growing a business, and selling a business. And along the way, I learned way more about money than I ever wanted to. So when we sold the business, I decided I was too young to retire, and I started the Food Finance Institute within UW Extension, and I did that so that I could have the opportunity to help other small, young food and farming businesses raise the money they need to grow. And it is out of my one-on-one client work that this boot camp grew up.
That's great. So this is for food entrepreneurs and also for farmers. So who should take this program? Who should participate? What
Yeah.
stage of their development would be ideal?
Yeah. So there are kind of two ways to answer that. There's the ideal, and then there's who in general would benefit from it. So ideally, this is a food enterprise or a value-added farm enterprise that is up and running, but they are small and need to scale up. So that's the ideal scenario. And I say that because we do a lot of work on the current business. And so I have people bring their financial statements. We work with their existing performance and use that as a baseline. So that's the ideal. Having said that, I've done this with businesses that have been in business for 20 years, so a long time. But they too were feeling the need to reposition the business for success in the future, which, I think you could kind of make an argument that that's any business these days.
Right.
Yeah, in food and agriculture, everything is changing so much that I think everybody needs to adapt, honestly. But anyway, so this ideal is still probably, though, a small business that's up and running and needs to scale. I've also had some people participate in the first part of it who are still pretty conceptual. So the first part of boot camp, we address business models, and that's something that is very valuable even at the concept stage, because it really pushes you to define not just your favorite product that you want to make, but your business model and how you're going to make money doing it.
That's great. Then you also work with actually helping companies attract capital,
Right.
how to attract capital to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so kind of the way that boot camp, the arc of boot camp anyway, is it's two-day sessions. So the first 2-day session, we look at business models for food that work. And by that, I mean, those are models that are realistic based on how the food industry works. And you get a good idea of how big you need to be, how diversified you need to be, all those things that are business model choices. So we work on that. And I tell people, if you have one of those, then you can usually get funding. The reason people don't get funding is either they don't have a business model that'll work, or they're not documented properly for raising money. So that's what we do in the second 2 days. So people come back and we work on the documenting of the business. So that from a financial perspective, not a marketing perspective, not, this is a bit different, and it's why people have trouble with it, that we have to quantitatively document it, and document the opportunity. So it has been my experience that once people have both a business model that'll work, and then all the documentation they need, and a good game plan for how they're going to raise money, they typically can go on to raise the money they need to grow.
That's great, because when you came to speak for us last week, you mentioned that maybe one business out of 10, one business out of 20 actually survives. Your success rate is quite a bit better than that, with folks who actually come and get help from you. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So we do track metrics for the work that we do. So I keep track of my clients. My joke is that once a client, always a client, because honestly, it's because we're successful, then they go on to grow and they need more money again. So, it's a part of food that you need to bring in financing from outside to keep growing. We track the metrics, and I've been doing the consulting thing now, that this one-on-one and also group consulting now for over 5 years. And over those 5 years, the success rate is way different. So it's at least 80%, and it's at, it kind of fluctuates at times, but between 80 and 85% of the people I work with are still in business. So that's a huge thing, and they're growing. I mean, they're not stagnant in a business, they're dynamic and growing and creating jobs and making an impact in their communities.
Great. Well, on that happy note, we'll close up. But Tera, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you in Fairfield, and many of the folks who are actually going to be looking at this little video in April and May.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks for doing this.